Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cooking with Nancy O with her husband, Rick. We have an awesome treat for you today. We are going to talk about butternut squash, but I have to share with you, I spent the weekend at a retreat and I came back so charged up, so on fire about my business and what Rick and I are creating with our tower farm. I learned so much knowledge about our company, and it's just a good time for us right now. So you just stay tuned for what's going to happen in the future, because I got to rub elbows with some really wonderful people who had great ideas, and I don't know. I'm just full today of gratitude. That's all. Like, I don't know what else to say. It just feels abundance. That's what I feel like. And that's a word I picked when I got there, and that's going to be my word for the year. And I feel like my life is so full of abundance, and we're doing things for people that we have never been able to do before. So you guys stay tuned. If you want to hear more, contact me. I'm just very charged up about this. So let's switch gears over to our butternut squash. Now, I just want to remind you, butternut squash grows outdoors on the tower. But here's the cool thing. We grew it outside. The purpose of eating it in the fall is because it keeps in a nice, cool place. We have these down in our basement in a basket. You guys remember the pictures, the big containers of squash we had. Well, I said something to Rick the other day. Hey, wait, we got squash downstairs. Let's start cooking this stuff. So our butternut squash grew a little different, right, Rick?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
This is a store-bought one right here. And then this one here is the one on our tower. And what I think happened is maybe we had a little cross-pollination with an acorn squash. Either way, we are using it as a butternut squash. We're very, very excited about it. Now we'll have to find something else to do with the one from the store. But we used all of our squash for the recipe. So I'm like, oh, Rick, go get a butternut squash. So this is the way it's really supposed to look like. But these are just fine to use also. You can see the difference in how it grew. So we're going to move this stuff aside. We're going to talk about our pre-prep here that we did for you guys. And then we'll get into the actual recipe. This is the hardest part of this recipe is cubing the squash, because it has a very hard shell. So Rick was so good. He did that for me. He actually did it last night to save us a little time this morning. So he cubed the butternut squash. We just put it in. Do you have a question?
Yeah, no, you just covered it with water and boiled it.
Right.
With the garlic in it.
So. Garlic, that's right. Okay. So we have 5 cups of butternut squash, 2 cloves of garlic in here. And the big thing is, it said to cook it on high for about 10 minutes and then remove that, or when it comes to a boil, remove the lid, and then you continue to cook it till it's done. That takes about 10, maybe 15 minutes. So we then drained it and we stored it in the refrigerator overnight. So you can do this step all in one. We stored it in the refrigerator. It will keep up to 3 days. You could freeze it, pull it out and use it later. If your squash you feel like is starting to get to a point where it needs to be cooked and you're not ready to add it to a meal, cook it, drain it, get it all ready, and then freeze it. And then seal it up. And then when you're ready to have your mashed butternut squash, you can then pull it out and you're a few steps ahead. You can also roast it ahead of time. Wouldn't that be good?
That would be good.
I know. Because I was gone, we didn't have enough time to roast it, but I just imagine roasting it. We're at the point now where we're going to put it into the pot, heat it up. We're going to add some butter to it. We're going to add some olive oil, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And you didn't do any milk at all?
No.
So we're doing this is true vegan now. You can add a little bit of milk or cream to it instead of the olive oil. Using the olive oil makes it a totally gluten-free recipe. So I'm going to hand this to you. It's still pretty warm, right? Okay. And then as he sticks it in the pot back there to heat it, I'm going to give him the butter. We got,
I'm gonna put this in first.
oh, he's got the pot heating already. He's so smart. I must have taught him well, right, guys? Now, the recipe calls for unsalted butter. So I would use salted or unsalted either way, just because use what you have in your house. You can adjust that salt when you add your other salt. That's my for unsalted. I don't know why I have to be a rebel, but I am, and that's what I use. So I just want to tell you that it will work. Okay, so he's heating up the butternut squash back there. And I'm telling you, I'm very anxious to try this. I absolutely love growing the squash. Squash is, you know, your zucchinis, your cucumbers, your pumpkins, and we are going to grow a big variety of pumpkins this year. And I am looking very forward to this because it's going to be a new challenge for us. And we have to really work on it as we're doing it. So I'm excited when I get to grow outside vegetables. I always keep a tower in my basement growing the cool vegetables, because once it gets hot here in St. Louis, those cool vegetables just die off the tower. And I like having a huge variety. Okay, Rick, how we doing back there?
I think we're doing good.
Okay, you ready?
I think so.
All right, let's bring on. We have decided if you have an immersion blender, you can do that right in the pot. I haven't invested in one of those. I don't know why. I think I've been waiting to get it as a gift from my kids or something, but maybe they'll get the hint now. No, birthday coming up. I don't know, you know. So we're going to put it through a food processor. I would put it all in. Yes, sir. Okay, now he's going to process this, and afterwards we're going to add a little salt and pepper. And it says to use fresh chives. We happen to have chives from our freezer that we grew on the tower, so we're using those chives. Ready? Go. Oh, he didn't plug it in. Now, usually that's me. Be careful.
Should be.
Okay. I thought he was going to turn the power strip off and cut us off on the live, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. All right, we'll pull it back out and we'll stick it in the.
Let me plug over here. Maybe I can.
He's going to rescue this with another plug. Every now and then when we use an extension cord with it, we get in trouble. Last week when we used the air fryer, it said not to use an extension cord with it. So I don't know what the deal is. If it's not working, Rick, he did something wrong putting the food processor together. Isn't that a riot? See, you know, life happens and you just roll with it. How you doing? He put it on backwards. Okay. Oh, we had it sitting over here, so it was backwards. So while he's doing that and figuring out his life over there, I'm going to continue talking about the butternut squash, because now I said when he added the oil, we could have added cream to it instead. That would give it a cream. Oh, you ready already? Are you ready already? This is, you can tell I've had no sleep this weekend. So I think he's ready.
Yep, whenever we're ready.
He put the whole container on backwards because he was using it on the wrong counter.
Yeah.
All right,
Here we
go. He's done before I say what I'm going to say. That's really good. Now pull some of that non-lumpy out. We had I got this food processor because I wanted to use one. And then I was scared to use it and I never used it. So I'm telling you, this thing does so much. If you get a chance to invest in a food processor and learn it, it is fantastic. Okay, go ahead. And Rick loves using it. Whenever I try to use it, he's like, I'll do it. So I know it's a machine he likes. That's perfect. So ladies, if you want your husband to cook and play with food processors like tools, get them started on a food processor and it'll help you in the kitchen, right?
Here,
What are you looking for?
pull this off.
Okay.
And we'll put some on.
Yeah, just put some on the plate. All right. And then we're going to scoop some of that out of there. He's got to have the perfect tools. That is one thing when men cook in the kitchen, they want perfect tools, guys. That looks good. Okay, now is the time. And normally you'd be doing this in your pot, but we're gonna sprinkle just a little bit of sea salt on it. I hope that's enough. And then it says a little bit of pepper. So, and now you could do this right on the plate, but you know what? When you're doing this, for company, you want it in the pot. And then we'll add, now our chives are not going to be, they're mushy because they're in the freezer. So, but they're going to taste just as good. We grew them on the tower and we want some chives on there and it still looks pretty. And you're going to end up mixing it in anyway. So if you're drying your herbs in that you grow on the tower, this is a great way to use them.
Yep.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm
Because I think this recipe is fantastic. It's fast, it's easy. So you go, boy.
Okay.
We love mashed potatoes. We grew up on mashed potatoes, but what a great alternative to get this nutrition in.
This is good for
Mashed potatoes. Okay,
Substitute for it, yeah.
So when I grew up,
A little more salt.
being in a great big family, my mom would peel 5 pounds of mashed potatoes for dinner, and it was my job to peel them when I got to a certain age. I remember my sisters doing it, and then as the timeline went down, it was my job. We had mashed potatoes at almost every single meal. So I am very excited to try this because I love mashed potatoes. Oh, wow. It has sort of a potato taste, but it's got that nutty flavor in there. That is good.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say that I think if we had roasted this, that would have brought that nutty flavor out. It would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
This is really good, guys. Okay, I am loving this that we came up with this recipe. So we never ate squash. We didn't grow it growing up. I never had it. I never bought it. But I had to see if it grew on a tower. So then once you grow it on a tower, you don't want it to go to waste. So what did I do? We found a recipe. I have to give 100% kudos for Rick. He found the recipe yesterday. I was traveling. I couldn't do it. And where I was at, I didn't have good cell phone reception. So this is really, really good. It's going to be richer than mashed potatoes. So I think that I would not add the cream to it.
Yeah.
Personal opinion, to keep it more vegan or gluten-free. And then you've got a great recipe here. This is going to be a family favorite. You could pre-make this and then bake it in the oven afterwards. Like if you're having family over, you can make this ahead of time, put it in a casserole dish. And then when you're preparing other things, you pop this in the oven. That's one more side dish done. So we like having a variety of side dishes because our family is big and there's so many different, things that people enjoy eating. So this is a really good recipe to have on hand. So guys, I don't know what's going on the tower downstairs. I haven't been down there, but I will tell you, I didn't count it, but we have trays and trays of seeds started. We grow our own flowers from seed, and that's a whole lot of fun. But we're starting to get our vegetables growing because we're slowly dismantling towers in the basement. So whatever is ready to come off the tower next week, that's what we will be cooking. And I am looking forward to doing that. You guys stay tuned. We have so much going on in our business right now that it's hard to keep up with all of it. Anyway, be safe this week. Next week, we'll have a great recipe for you, and take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
My gosh,
Wouldn't
Rick.
that be good, but maybe meatloaf with the
Oh,
mashed
meatloaf,
potatoes.
yes.
So you're using this instead of mashed potatoes.
Good.
good.
Oh, you did so good on this one.
Thanks.
I love it.
It's a lot.
I do too. I know we can't stop eating it. This is so fantastic.
Put it up for